Welcome back to Falling Fox Gaming, everybody. I'm your host Blaine, and today we're going to be playing WorldBox. Now, for those of you that do not know, WorldBox is a god game, and in most god games, you are given a handful of villagers, you're expected to treat them well, and then they'll eventually start worshipping you more, and you'll gain more powers. That's not really what a god game should be. In my opinion, a god game should be, you're all powerful, you can do what you want when you want, and the world reacts to your choices. That's what this game nails perfectly. In WorldBox, you are an all-powerful being, and you can do pretty much whatever you want. You can bless things, curse things, add monsters to the game, add different races, different kingdoms, whatever you want. You can change the landscape at your whim. It's all at your fingertips. And that is how this game is played. You can do whatever you want and you just let the world unfold in front of you. Now, all the NPCs can interact with one another without your intervention. You can choose to intervene if you want, but you don't have to. All the people will build villages and kingdoms and cultures without you, and you just get to sit back and watch them do it. Or you can interact and mess with them all you want. Now, most of the time when I see people play this game, they're just throwing like SAR bombs or meteorites at people or creating tornadoes or volcanoes or whatever. And honestly, I think that's kind of a waste. Obviously, that's a lot of fun, just destroying things. It kind of reminds me of the old Sim days, like SimCity days, where you're just throwing like a Godzilla type monster. But each of the factions, as they begin building their kingdoms, they actually start gaining new things like new research, new cultures. They'll even have inner war with one another. And there's a lot of little stories that can actually play out without you interacting at all. All you have to do is click on the little guys and see what their individual tastes are. Now, some of them like people or dislike people. You can rename everything, all the different people, all the different towns, the cultures, the kingdoms, the villages. You can rename each individual dog, cat, cow, whatever you want. That's how customizable this game really is, and that's where this game shines. It obviously doesn't look the best because the whole point of the game is that it's more of just for fun, and it's a storytelling tool in my opinion, and that's what we're going to do. So I have a really cool idea, and it's only going to work if you guys all kind of join in. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a world, and I'm going to populate it with a few things just to kind of get the ball rolling. And we're going to have you guys input your own ideas and put them into the game world. As long as they're not too disruptive of everything in the very beginning, I'm open to a lot of ideas. The big thing I want from you guys is to actually have you guys pick and make your own little kingdoms, and then we'll have them all grow together and see what happens as they interact with one another. This is, again, only going to work if a lot of people kind of get involved in this. If there's only a couple people participating, then it might fizzle out, but who knows? We could actually create a lot of story from this because there's a lot to it, and I can do that even if you guys decide not to have too much input. If a lot of people don't join, I'll just add in my own story stuff to create a few videos, and then we'll just have some fun with it and then let it be. So let me go into a little bit of detail so that way you guys understand how this game is played. First and foremost is the different races. Now there's 4 main races that can actually create kingdoms. There's the humans, the elves, the dwarfs, and the orcs. They all have their own likes and dislikes, and they all like being in certain types of terrain and like eating certain types of food and whatnot. I'm not going to get into the exact details because honestly, I don't know a lot of them, and I think it's more fun if we just kind of pick and choose kind of randomly. But if you decide you want your own kingdom, you can pick from any of the 4 races. And then with that, I just need you guys to give me a kingdom name, a village name, a leader name, your culture name, and that's kind of it. If you want to give me a couple different kingdom names in case there's some splits in your kingdom, or a couple different village names in case there's multiple villages, that works out too. But for every kingdom you guys want it added into the game, I need you guys to list in separate comments based on my organizational skills. That's just what's going to be the most helpful for me. So if you want more than one kingdom in the game, add an individual comment for each one so that I can stay organized. Now that all the jibber jabber is out of the way, let's get into the actual game. I'm going to generate a world, and then you guys are going to watch me populate it with a few different creatures just so you can see how it actually works. That way when you guys make your selections, you guys have a general idea of how the game is actually played. Alright, and here we have our world. It took me a while to actually generate a pretty cool looking world, but this one looks awesome. I really like the water features inland. I think the crescent moon and the full circle moon with like, I don't know, it kind of looks like a tomato or it looks like a blueberry, like the circle and then like the little like stem on top. It's pretty awesome. Before I start actually adding things to the world, I kind of want to show you guys what the game looks like in case you haven't actually seen it. So from far back, it just looks like it's all kind of blobs and stuff. But as you zoom in, it gets quite a bit more detailed. Now, it's still not super detailed. It is just pixel art after all. Now, the dark green is like forest, light green is just grass. Then there's like mushroom biome right here with some like flowery type things. There is the pink trees, which is like enchanted lands, I think, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. And we can see a few different resources just from right here. There's stone, there's gold, there's ore, iron ore I think it is. And I know that there's like berry bushes and stuff for people to eat from, but I don't actually see any, and I might just be missing it because I'm obviously not super proficient in this game. The other thing is I do know that everything needs to eat, otherwise it will die, and things do age. So people will start to die off from old age and whatnot. So let's take a look at what our options are. So first of all, let's go into our world laws. We're going to have diplomacy on and random events, so declare war and treaties, rebellions, so cities and factions can actually split up. We have kingdom expansion, so actually people try to establish new settlements. They can go to war and take territory off each other. We're going to add angry villagers on, so that way the villagers actually take part in wars, because I feel like it's stupid not having villagers that defend themselves. Everyone needs food, people die of old age. Animals can randomly spawn in the world, that's fine. We're not going to have passive monsters on. Grass can grow, biomes can grow, trees can grow. We're not going to have eternal lava. We're not going to have erosion. We are going to turn on natural disasters, and we're not going to turn on other disasters at this time. That's kind of it for this basic stuff. We can slow down time, speed it. No, we can't actually slow down. -1 is the only speed it can go on. Well, in terms of slow speeds, other than paused, and then you can speed up time if you so choose. Then we have all of our different options. We have creating and shaping our world, so we can add dirt and water, stones, hills, mountains, a whole bunch of different little effects. You can remove trees and whatnot, grass, bushes, a lot of different tools to modify the terrain itself. Then we can actually modify the kingdoms that spawn in the game. I'm not going to mess with these right now because I'm going to let the game world fill itself out without me touching any of that stuff, at least for now. And then of course we have the animals, creatures, and monsters, which is all the really cool stuff. This is the humans, the elves, the dwarfs, the orcs, and then all the different animals that are in the game. There's actually a decent amount of animals, and then there's actually monsters too. Anything from cold ones to bandits, evil mages, zombies, super pumpkin, dragons, butterfly, grasshopper. Kind of cool thing about the bugs, I think it's the ants, is they actually change the terrain too. So if we actually want to just like have the terrain modify itself, we can actually throw down some bugs and insects and they will start to modify the world around them. We can cause natural disasters, anything from firestorms to meteors, to tornadoes, earthquakes. And then we can just do the destructive powers, which is just like all the blowing up stuff for the most part. Oh yeah, and there's also like the different like volcanoes we can add in, geysers, acid geysers, and rain clouds, acid clouds, lava clouds, snow clouds. And then there's all the miscellaneous events and things that we can trigger, such as plagues. We can give people blessings, heal people. We can give people coffee, zombie infections, curses, madness, divine light, a lot of cool things. When I was saying there's a lot of depth to this game, I'm not kidding. And there's even actually more to it. We haven't even gotten into it yet, but you can actually view the different kingdoms, which there's none yet 'cause there's no people, but you can view the villages and then the cultures and then each individual leader and person. So as I've said, you can rename and click on every individual person and learn about them. And as we play, we're going to do that kind of stuff. We're not going to just let the game play while we sit out from like this view right here and be like, yep, things are going on. The whole purpose of this is I actually want to like pause, zoom in and click on some people and see what different cultures are like and what different people are like. Now, we obviously have a pretty cool map. I'm not going to lie. This is a really, really cool map. And now that we've talked about the different things that we can kind of do to the game world, we're going to go ahead and add in some creatures and stuff. The big thing I want to do is I want to make sure that there is food for everybody. So I'm going to add in fruit bushes kind of all over the world, and this is where you guys can kind of see how the game works. As you can see, I have a cursor here and there's a kind of a circle. That is where the berry bushes will appear. Now I can make this as big as I want or make it very sporadic. If you do something like this, it's a massive area that you could actually cover pretty much the entire land in berry bushes if you really wanted to. I do believe it gets rid of the trees and stuff, so we're not going to do that. We're going to put one of the smaller brushes on, and as you can see, just going to drop down some berry bushes. Now I'm going to kind of do that all over just so that way every single island and every single grouping has stuff. And then let's see, we're just going to kind of do this all over the place. Just that way any creatures that spawn have a chance to basically live because they're going to have some kind of food. Even if it's not much, I just want there to be some. And then we are going to go ahead. We already saw there's stone, gold, and ore deposits, so we're going to leave that alone. We can add grass and trees if we wanted to, and we can even do some crazy stuff like corrupt seeds and infernal seeds and stuff. There's a lot of different things we can do that we will get into as we play, don't worry. As for animals, I'm not going to lie, I've struggled with this a little bit. I played a tiny little bit and all of my people were starving a decent amount. I'll look into this a little bit before we actually start playing a little more, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some chickens kind of all over the place, because I do believe chickens are one of the food sources, and I'm just going to hope that they kind of, you know, reproduce enough to where people can eat off them. If not, that's okay. We'll add more chickens. Honestly, that's probably what we'll end up doing. I don't want people to die just because I'm dumb. So there's a bunch of chickens, and let's add in some cows too, because I imagine cows are probably similar to chickens. And I don't think I want to add anything else. I do know that like rabbits can be used for stuff too, but I think going with chickens and cows to begin with is probably the safest bet. Now, you know, we're going to add in some rabbits too, because why not? Not as many. I'm hoping that rabbits breed really fast, like real life. Now, I do know there are biome restrictions to animals too, so if they go somewhere they're not supposed to be, like on the mountains, they will die, so I need to be careful about that. And then I want to make sure that the waters are a little bit dangerous, so I think I'm going to add in some piranhas to the water, kind of just in between all the big islands, just to hopefully prevent people from randomly traveling to other little islands. Now, this might be a little extreme, and I maybe shouldn't have done this, but I didn't want to add well, whatever. That'll be a dangerous little lake. Yeah, go in that water. I dare you. So that should be good. And I kind of think that's it. Well, you know what? Actually, no, that's not it. This cool little island, we're going to add in our first, well, I guess I was going to say our first creature, but we have cows and stuff. We're going to add in a fox. Oh, the fox is probably going to eat the rabbits, whatever. We're adding in a fox because we can. And this is kind of what I want to show you. So we can actually click on this fox. And here's the menu. We're just going to name him Fennec. Now, each of the animals and people have different traits. The fox is fast and genius, obviously, because, you know, it's a fox. It's amazing. And then we're going to add him to our favorites so we can actually see him on the map. Now, as you can see, he actually has stats too. So this is what I'm saying is this game's actually pretty in-depth. This is just an animal, and they have these kind of stats. So let's go ahead and just close the window. And if we back out, we can see that he's just a little star on the map. We can always just keep an eye on him, doing his own fox thing. Alright, so I think that's about it for the world setup. We have all the animals and resources set up in the map, and we'll probably edit them as we go along, but let's talk about the game now. At the end of the video, I'm going to have a picture posted with all the starting options numbered. That way you guys can pick from where you want your kingdoms to start on a first come, first serve basis. Now, in the event that I don't get enough input from you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make at least one more of these videos, even if you guys don't reply at all, because I do want to play the game and I want to show it off. So I'm really hoping that I piqued enough interest from you guys that you guys can actually get involved and actually participate in the comment section and try to interact with one another. If not, I get it. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But we're going to end it here because I don't want to ramble on just for the sake of taking up time. But I'm just going to quickly explain one last time of what I want you guys to do. In the comments below, I want you guys to list the race, kingdom name, village name, leader name, and culture name of anything you want added into the game. Now, you can have more than one kingdom if you want added into the game. I just want you guys to list it in separate comments if you have more than one kingdom. This is for my own personal note-taking, so if you guys want more than one kingdom, separate comments. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.